Alrighty, welcome back to GamecocksOnline.com. I'm here with head volleyball coach Scott Swanson. Fresh off the road, you played at LSU yesterday. A tough match to play on the road at the Maravich Center. Come away with a 3-0 defeat. What did you think the team learned from kind of the first weekend of SEC play? First off with Friday against Kentucky and then LSU yesterday.
I think we learned, especially our new kids, we learned that this is a really tough league. We have to respect every opponent that we step on the court against, and I think we learned that mentality is going to be crucial for us, kind of digging our way out of a little bit of a hole right now. We were pretty good for the first 15 points of each set, and then we didn't keep the same mentality that got us to 15 for the rest of the way. And it's a lot of mental stuff out there that we're doing. It's mental errors that are keeping us from winning those sets or being as competitive as we want. And I think that's, in some positions, that's a lack of experience and just understanding how to handle the pressure, especially on the road in front of a hostile crowd and a loud band and all that. It's a lot of firsts for sometimes 3 and 4 freshmen at a time on the court. So it's all experience, and like we always say, even if it's a rough experience, it's still something that you can learn from and get better from. And that's what we're going to try to take into the gym this week in practice, so we can get ready for a tough trip to Mississippi State.
Now, as a coach, is there anything you can do from a coaching perspective to kind of speed along that learning process, so there isn't as much of a learning curve, or is it something that you just gotta to hope that they can adjust to personally on a player-to-player basis?
Yeah, I think it's very individual. We try everything we can in practice to put them in pressure situations when we scrimmage, or pressure competition situations when we do drills. But it's different when you get onto the big stage and you're on TV, and it's there's a lot more factors involved that we can't really replicate during a practice. So a lot of it is just kind of riding it out, and the more you experience it, the better you get at it. And obviously our juniors and seniors sometimes handle those situations better, and thank goodness they do. But I think that's just a natural progression that upperclassmen who've been through it several times are better at handling the pressure. And a lot of it's just the speed of the game too. With our new players, they're trying to get used to a whole different level of serve and attack coming at them, and a bigger block in front of them. And so it's a process that we're trying to be patient, but like you said, we would like to speed it up a little bit more.
And yesterday you experimented a little bit more with that 6-2 with Maddie Borowski setting along with Aubrey. You kind of had to go away with it just with the pressure and the way that LSU was hitting, but you also got a nice performance out of Emma Locke as an attacker. She's kind of been a DS for you, but she took some swings and she was up at the front line. How do you think she kind of handled that new adjustment to her game?
I thought she handled it well, and the reason I had her do that is because I know that she's, even as a freshman, she's very confident and fearless when she approaches the game of volleyball, and that's what we need. And that's why I felt comfortable putting her out there. You need those stabilizing players that can handle the ball front row and back row. There's a lot of little situations that you need the pass to be perfect so you can get a split in the block, and you need the ball to be in the court when the set's not as good as you need it. And I felt like she did a good job of stabilizing. So she's not going to be the biggest block or the biggest attacker we can put out there, but she can handle the ball, and she can kind of take the challenge head on with a fearless mentality. And I love the fact that she can go out there and do that as a freshman. So it was really cool to see that.
And a big thing you were preaching to the team after the Kentucky match on Friday was it's okay to make mistakes, just be aggressive in making those mistakes. And it seemed like the lineup that you had in was totally fine with swinging away against LSU's blocks. They made some hitting errors, of course, that's going to happen, but they were taking the right angles. It was just kind of finishing those hits that seemed to be holding you guys back.
Yeah, I think we need to be hitting harder. I think when we're playing these really good teams, if we're just throwing it over the net and we're giving them easy opportunities, you're going to lose those points 90% of the time anyway. So it's a risk-reward deal where we need to go up and swing higher and harder, and be less tentative. And if we make a few mistakes along the way, that's just the nature of the sport. I feel like we're in a position as an underdog a lot of the time where we need to take more risks and serve tougher, which means we might miss a few more and hit a lot more aggressively, which means we might get blocked a few more times or hit out. But I think it's important for our mentality to not have the fear of making mistakes. And I think sometimes that fear creeps over the whole team after a while, and maybe that's at the point where we get to 15, we start to feel more pressure because we don't want to make mistakes and we make it too easy on the other team. So we're working on it, and it will be a process, but I have a lot of faith in this team, and I know once we get out of this, I would say kind of a mental slump that we're in, we get our confidence back. I do feel like we'll be back in there swinging for the fences and kind of feeling like who we really want to be out there.
And you'll get the next chance to kind of get that better feel this weekend, coming at Ole Miss on Friday and then Mississippi State on Sunday. What do you know about those two teams so far before you've kind of really gone in-depth scouting, and what do you hope to see from your team going into it?
I know that Ole Miss is a very, very solid team. They return a lot of players from last year's successful team. They had over 20 wins last year. I believe right now they're 14-2. So I think they're a confident team. They have two of the better middles, more athletic and better middles in the conference. Their setter is an all-conference setter. I think their ball control is good. I think they have a lot of pieces to be a very good team and to be a middle-of-the-pack team this year in the SEC. And so, going into their place, playing on their home court is going to be a real challenge for us. They, in fact, just lost to Mississippi State this weekend 3-0, which was, I don't know that that's happened in a really long time. And, from what I've seen, Mississippi State on video is 5 times better than they were last year. They're hugely improved, new coaching staff, some new players out there, also a very good preseason record, and so they have some confidence. I'm sure a lot more confidence now that they beat their arch rival on the road in 3. So it's going to be a much different trip than it's been for us in the past. I think a lot of people used to look at Mississippi State as an easy win, and I think they're a really good team now. I don't think that they're an easy win for anybody. And so I think we have to really get it together and have a great week of practice this week and get our heads right so that we can go and be as competitive as we possibly can, because we're going to face 2 very strong teams this weekend.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.